This episode is brought to you by Shopify. Selling a little or a lot? Do your thing however you cha-ching with Shopify, the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. Shopify helps you turn browsers into buyers with the internet's best converting checkout. 36% better on average compared to other leading commerce platforms. Get a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/offer23.
'Tis the season to shine with H&M. Discover the holiday collection and find fashionable pieces for your wardrobe or for under the tree. Get inspired and dazzle with this year's glam. From tuxedo styles, bow detailed pieces, impressive prints, and more. From unforgettable looks to unforgettable gifts. With fashion finds to home decor, find it all at H&M. Treat your loved ones and yourself this season. Shop in-store or at hm.com.
If I don't put my efforts in now, I'm not going to see it. So I cannot lose that opportunity. I've already lost like a good 4 to 5 years solid opportunities where I had to say no, or like, no, that's too far, or that's too late, or no, that means I have to leave on a Friday and come back on Sunday. No, I'm not going to take that gig. So I've said no so many times. And this is the year where I'm like, if it makes sense, if I see the value in it, yeah. And it doesn't have to be monetizing. But if I see the value for me or my brand, I'm going to say yes to it.
Hey, my name is Veronica Cisneros, and I am a licensed marriage and family therapist, a mama of 3 girls, and married for 23 years. I am obsessed with helping you navigate through the seasons of marriage, helping couples like you break free from feeling like roommates. I will teach you the secrets to having a healthy marriage by providing tools and tips to help you reconnect in a way that you can't keep your hands off each other, where flirting and kissing is the norm in your household. Setting intentional time to date, get to know and support each other's dreams and goals so that you can grow together without keeping score or judging one another. Where you feel seen and heard even when you disagree. Where arguments end with mutual respect and understanding. Where you work together to build and strengthen your family so no one feels like they're carrying the weight of the family on their own. These are the necessary skills your children need for you to model so that they develop healthy relationships and thrive in life. This is the Empowered and Unapologetic Podcast. Ladies, please help me by welcoming my guest, Alyce Chan. Hey, Alyce.
Hi, Veronica. Thanks for having me here.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us. So let me ask you a question. How did you become an entrepreneur?
Oh boy. I think I've always had an entrepreneurial mindset because my dad had a business and my mom was very involved, and I've seen them working their tails off since I was a little kid. So I always had that in the back of my mind. I majored in economics and marketing. I've always had a good sense of business acumen, and I know how to market. I mean, you can market anything. I've had years of marketing, and I think that has really helped me just kind of plow my career through.
When did you start? Like, how did you know to start your business? Like, was there anybody that said anything to you? Was there like, obviously you're fulfilling a need, but like, how did it come about? How did Mom Come NYC come about?
It was very organic. Like I have the standard 9 to 5 job, a banking, and then I went into advertising. I've always been very creative, and I never want to be stuck in corporate finances. And I was for 7 years, and I felt like my soul was drained. Like every day
Yeah.
I went in the bank and I was just feeling dead. So I knew I had to do something, but I'm like, okay, what can I do that can also sustain me? And it wasn't really until I had my first baby. I was doing comedy on the side, but I wasn't getting paid for it. I was just doing it for the love of it. I met my husband. I was still doing comedy. I probably got like $5 or $10 a gig, and I didn't.
Mhm.
And then when I was pregnant, he asked me, do you want to stay home and take care of the baby while I work? We'll have to downsize, of course. And I'm like, whoa, that sounds like the easiest job on the planet. I didn't know. I was like,
Sign me
yeah,
up.
fun. Yeah, set it up. So I went back to work for 4 months and I was like, see you guys.
Yeah,
I'm like,
peace out. Made it.
yeah. So first day at home with the newborn, awesome. Didn't know what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then it quickly became 3 months, 6 months, and I was like, what am I doing?
Mm-hmm.
And I was stuck for like 3.5 years. I started doing photography and I was trying to make money doing freelance photography. So I could, I could leave the baby with a babysitter or my
Yep.
husband for a couple hours only, and I could make a few bucks. And then I realized it wasn't fulfilling my soul. And it wasn't to my second baby that I thought, hey, I'm going to dip my toes back into comedy. And we lived in Greenpoint, Brooklyn at that time, where we were surrounded with bars and restaurants, and nightlife was insane. And I went out one night. I'm like, you know what? I need a break from my 6-month-old. I walked into a bar. There was a comedy show going on, and it brought back feelings that I hadn't felt for like a long time. And I was like, I
Mm-hmm.
gotta get back into this. I walked up to Kendra Cunningham, who is my good friend now, and she gave me the chance. I said, hi, I used to do comedy. And I was just like stammering. I didn't know what to say. And she's like, great. When do you want to perform next? I'm like, wait, you want to put me on your show?
Yeah.
So she gave me that chance, and I was like, you got to step it up. You can't just walk in without any jokes. You got to start writing. You're going to be on stage in a month. So I did that. And after that, I was just trying to get gigs, and no one was asking me to be on stage because, we're in New York City. There's competition.
Mm-hmm.
I'm competing
Mm-hmm.
with 25-year-old males who are hustling every night.
Yep.
Meanwhile, I'm like nursing a baby and a toddler, which I know has a lot of content, but at that time I wasn't even in the right frame
No.
of mind. I was just crazy and nuts. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm going to produce my own show. I start producing shows at night. And then I realized, oh, nighttime is not my gig. I'm tired. So yeah, I'm still nursing the baby. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do a daytime comedy show. I'm going to do like a daytime comedy show where moms, dads, caregivers can bring their babies, don't need to spend money on a babysitter. And I found a cute bookstore in Greenpoint. Word Bookstore is still there on Franklin Street. I asked them, hey, do you want to do a BYOB, bring your own baby kind of comedy show? I'll give you half the profits. They said yes. First show, I had 7 moms. They were like 5 of them were my friends, and they were newborn. And I wanted to just create a safe place. First and foremost, it wasn't about the money. It was fulfilling my dream about doing comedy, but
Yep.
also giving a safe, supportive space for moms to nurse their babies, to come out and socialize with other adults, to actually watch real live comedy, but not at 9 p.m. at night.
Mm-hmm.
We had professional comedians coming in. Like people were coming in from David Letterman shows. They've done like Jimmy Fallon shows, a writer from SNL. So we had like real good comedians, and they would do clean comedy. Not like it mattered because the newborns didn't understand anyway. Yeah. But that was when it gave me the idea, like, I'm making money. It soon grew to like a monthly show, word of mouth. I didn't have to spend money on advertising. And I was making money. I was able to pay the comics. After 2 shows, I was able to pay the comics.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And I was like, why don't I do something bigger?
Mm-hmm.
And I started doing events. I started producing events that was, on the evening side, but not too late for the moms. And I made it more inclusive, and I included women you didn't have to be a mom just to be in my show, but I really want to create a safe space, infusing comedy into it. And the events start bringing in money. And then COVID hit. I started turning my focus more on Instagram, doing reels and sketches. And I guess it resonated with a lot of parents. And then brands started to recognize it. And they start asking me to help them do campaigns. And that's when I was like, you know what? Comedy can bring in money.
Hell yeah.
Not enough to sustain my life right now with 2 kids, but it has been amazing for my self-esteem because when you've been working since you were 12 years old, making your
Mhm.
own cash, and all of a sudden for 4 years, you're dependent on someone else's
Yep.
paycheck, it does a
Yep.
number for your self-esteem.
Oh, hell yeah. I remember, so my husband, he's a retired Marine, and I was starting to go to school for obviously what I'm doing now, but my undergrad program, graduated, and I was like, all right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and for my master's. And we received orders to move to New York. We were moved to Long Island. Yeah, we lived in Long Island for 3.5 years.
Wow.
And my husband was stationed at Fort Leonard Wood over there in the Bronx. And he would have to cross that Throgs Neck Bridge every single
Mm.
day and pay like $50 a day over there and back. Yeah, the tolls were crazy. But it was one of those moments where it was like, okay, well, you're not going to work anymore because, we had our oldest, she was like 4, about to be 5. And then I had just had a baby. And so it was
Mm.
like, here we go. This is what it looks like. And it's like, well, shit. And I remember calling him one day, like I was like, all right, this is same thing. This is cool. Shit, man, this is awesome. I just get a chill, baby sleeps, kid goes to school. Like, damn, I'm living the vida loca. Right. And yeah, I remember calling him one day and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna be honest with you. One of them ain't gonna make it. I'm gonna let you pick. I'm gonna let you pick. Because one of them, it ain't looking good. So either you bring your ass home or I pick, whatever. Hey, I'm good either way. Yeah, it was like, oh shit. And so I remember like posting up flyers. So in New York, where we were stationed, it's military housing, but it's not on a military base. It's like so much different. It's over there by Eisenhower Park. And so I remember like posting up like, well, screw it. Cause one kid's not enough. Why not go ahead and I can't leave my house. So why not start, you know, watching other people's kids and so they can entertain my kids. And it was
Smart.
one of those things where it was like, I can't do this anymore. And it kind of goes back to, for me, I felt as if I didn't know that that's what was happening. I didn't know that that's what was happening until I became a therapist and like had a clinical term for it. But like literally, I was falling into like, I don't want to call it depression, but it would have been this depressed state. And I felt as if I had completely lost myself. Like I was so laser focused on wanting to be an exceptional mom, an exceptional wife. I mean, I was like making up shit to do, like literally making up shit to do and like just being on high the entire time, high frustration, feeling overwhelmed. And so my question to you is, you and your husband had this agreement that, okay, you're going to live the vida loca at home. How did that transition? Like, how did that transition of you starting to go, well, this was fun. Peace out, kids. I'm going to go ahead and mom's going to start figuring her shit out and like create a business. How did that transition play into your marriage?
Oh man, I feel like my husband should speak on his behalf, but he's busy right now. So I was really grumpy. I was
Yeah.
very ragey. I think I had postpartum depression, and I don't like that term because I never thought I had it
Yeah.
because it said depression. I was like,
Right.
you know what? I'm happy go lucky. I'm happy around my friends. I'm happy around my babies. I'm just not happy around my husband.
Yeah.
And my therapist diagnosed me just like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
She said that sounded like postpartum rage. So you did have PPD, but it just came out as rage and resentment. And I'm like, you know what? That's it. Bingo. And I'm like, I
Hmm.
wish someone had told me that earlier.
For
Um,
real.
yeah, we're lucky we're like still together. We made it. But I was very ragey and I didn't know what it was, but I bet you, well, I know what it is now. I focused too much on trying to be the perfect mom. I saw a lot of what society is expecting from you.
Yeah.
You hear things and you just can't feel, you just can't shake it off. And everything I did, I could have done better. At night, I'm like, I could have played with him a little longer.
Yep.
I should have taken him to that yoga and me class. I know I was too tired today. I could have made him a healthier meal. And it was a lot of guilt. And I felt like I lost myself and
Yeah.
I wasn't the Alyce anymore. And I kept thinking, okay, I'm still me because I love my kid. I'm happy around my kid. I made some mom friends. I took him to every baby and me class every day,
Mm-hmm.
but it was about the baby. It
Yep.
wasn't about me. And I was like, what was I doing before that? Oh, I was creative. So I was still trying to do creative stuff like graphic design, photography, but it wasn't me. And I think deep down, I just wanted to do my comedy again. I think part of that is therapy because I get to say what I want on stage. I needed validation and I
Yeah.
wasn't getting it at home. And I'm a middle child, like I really need validation. A people pleaser.
Mm-hmm.
And so I remember when I performed my first gig and then I finally got paid for it, and it wasn't much. I just felt like, hey, there's something there. Let me
Yeah.
explore more. And I've never really transitioned out of being a stay-at-home parent. I'm still a stay-at-home parent, but I've been able to ask for help more.
Yeah.
And I've been able to leave the family more often. And this year, I told my husband, I'm like, hey, I'm 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 interviewing babysitters.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you can take full control when I'm away. I'm going to be traveling more.
Yeah.
I'm going to be going on the West Coast. I'm going to go in the cities. I'm going to be doing more of my comedy. I'm sorry, but this is a gift I have and I'm
Hell
realizing,
yeah.
and I really want to perform for my moms. I want to be there. I want to talk about the hard stuff and make them laugh and find the funny in the struggle and find the funny in motherhood. And I'm going to do it. And he's like, that's great. Okay, let me know what dates are not available. Let me know when I need to pick up the kids. And we've made it work. I mean, I owe him like 10 date nights, but
Mm-hmm.
you
Probably
know,
more, girl. Probably more.
yeah, probably I'm being a little monster. Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
know.
Mm-hmm.
A lot more, and it's been an amazing partner, and that's how I've been able to do it. Like but I got to put me first. Like the kids,
Yes.
I have to admit, the kids are older now, so it is a little more possible. It's harder when they're toddler stage, baby stage, but and I chose to be home most of the time with them because
Yeah.
I wanted to see them grow. I wanted to see the milestones, but now it's kind of like, see
I'm
you, kids.
ready.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
you're
ready.
wiping your own butts. I think it's time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know looking for the right therapist can be challenging. However, feeling overwhelmed and disconnected is even harder. Life is filled with several twists and turns, some more severe than others. We do our best to handle them as they come and find ourselves at a loss, not knowing what to do or who to turn to. The clinicians here at Outside the Norm Counseling are here to help. We are here to assist you through this time of need. Together, we will identify your strengths and goals and teach you healthy coping skills. Together, we will develop a plan to help you live the life you want to live. Our team is compassionate, genuine, and we take a great deal of pride in providing an empathetic, non-judgmental approach to all of our clients. It's time! You've waited long enough, whether it be for you, your child, or if you're in need of a couple session. We are highly trained clinicians ready to guide you. Schedule an appointment now by calling 951-395-3288. Again, that number is 951-395-3288. We're looking forward to meeting you and being a part of your journey.
So that transition of you like owning, it's my turn. It's my turn, being unapologetic, like I'm ready to go. How did that play out? Like what type of, I guess what I want to ask is like, what did you ultimately need to make that shift? Because at the same time, one big thing that a lot of women don't talk about is as we're like fucking making this big shift to go ahead and like, it's a leap.
Yeah.
There's also this guilt of who I'm leaving behind.
Mm,
Right?
yeah.
Tell
So
me
much
about that.
So that shift came when I was about to turn 40. And I told my husband, hey, for my 40th, I'm going to go on a girls' trip.
Yeah.
My firstborn was only like 18, 20 months.
Yeah.
We finished breastfeeding at 18 months, so he was over it. And he's like, wow, really? Like and he wasn't like absorbing all of it.
No,
And
no.
was like, I know it's going to be a big trip. It's my 40th,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm going to do it. And I'm going to do it during Thanksgiving, which is
Yep.
the biggest holiday for US. I'm Canadian, so to me it didn't really matter.
Yeah, you're like, I'm good.
You're going to go, but this is good for you. To my husband, I was like, you're going to go to your mom's as you do every Thanksgiving, and you're going to have help.
Yeah.
So that's going to be fine. That's the best time to go away. And that was my first time getting away from the family and the baby.
Everything.
I felt guilty doing it, but once I was in like Puerto Rico,
Mm-hmm.
I was not
Mm-hmm.
feeling guilty. I
At
felt like
all. At
this
all.
supposed to be
Margarita in hand, pina colada. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Done. I'm
My
good.
girlfriends and eat me, and we just like soaked into each other's energies. We were all moms. And I remember there was we found a secluded beach. We were laying there. We saw from afar this yacht with a few people there. A couple people were skinny dipping in their 70s.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
this young guy, he was like probably in his 20s. He's waving at us. And we're like, oh my gosh, does he not know that we're like these old moms here? And I'm like, okay, it's very far. He swims up to us.
Oh,
And I'm
shit.
like, oh boy,
Hey,
what's
hold on.
here? It's like, he's like, where are your boyfriends? I was like, you mean our kids? Didn't even tell them that we were moms. But it was just like such a funny situation because
Mm-hmm.
we at each other after he left. I was like, maybe he realized we were old when he came up that close and then he swam away. But it gave us a good laugh, and it's kind of like a reminder like girls can have fun
Yeah.
and like, hey, we're hot and cute.
Yeah.
Okay. We can still be hot and cute as moms. And that was my first trip. And that to me kind of like solidified it, cemented this idea in my head. I'm like, if I'm gonna go away, I can be
Mm-hmm.
Alice. If I'm at
Yes.
home, I still can't. I'm physically
No.
around that energy. So I made another trip, and that trip was farther to Bali with my sisters.
Mm-hmm.
And that was amazing. And it reinforced me. I'm like, trips are good. So I
Yeah.
start letting go of that guilt and being like, I can do a trip. I can be away from my family. My husband's got it. I planned it as well, where he would get the support. And then as soon as I felt like, you know what, he can do it on his own,
You can figure this out.
he can figure it out. And you got to
Mm-hmm.
let that go. You got to let it go. You just got to be like, he can figure it out. He's also a parent. Your partner is there. That's why you guys are called partners. You don't have to do everything. And he doesn't have to do the things that you do, right? He can do it on his own, his way. And you
Mm-hmm.
don't have to criticize it. At least he's doing it. And that was giving me that permission because when I came back, everything was fine. And
Yeah.
it just, hey, you can do
Yep.
it. And again,
Absolutely.
plan a trip. I think that's the key.
Yeah. Oh God, yes. Oh
Yeah.
God, yes. Trips are, I feel like trips are very vital and with the right people. With the
Right.
right people, right?
Yeah.
Because the minute you have
Yeah.
drama, it's like over.
Yeah.
But yeah, have the right people, you in this space, and it's okay to be greedy. It's okay to be
Yeah.
picky,
Yeah.
because it's ultimately your time away from your kids. So that time is priceless.
Priceless. And the physical aspect of you not being in even the same city.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. It's like this, you can do anything. Like you could stay out late. You can do something that you normally wouldn't do. You could meet up with people that you could take your time. Oh my God,
Yeah.
you can have hot coffee. Like take your trips. Do
Yeah.
like even like a day away if it's too hard. Suggestion for like new moms who are just starting to breathe again to find that space. Take a day trip. Go away, but you gotta go
Mhm.
physically.
Mhm. One big fear a lot of women have, especially as they're, embarking on this entrepreneurial process, is what impacts it will have on the marriage. What would
Mm.
you say has impacted your guys' marriage?
Um, I think what I'm afraid is the resentment that
Yeah.
I will get if I leave. And he has a full-time job, which is very stressful, and he also has a parent. So I think I'm afraid of him resenting me. Uh,
Yeah.
but well, that's why communication is so key. Like, I have to say to him, like, this is very important to me and this is what I need to do. And he's very understanding. So you need to have a partner that also understands, like, this is important to you. I'm not bringing home thousands of dollars, but
Hmm.
it's important to me. And some of these trips, I'm in the red. I have to invest in myself first to see the fruits of my labor. And so he understands that. I'm afraid that it might tire the relationship because I'm spent by the time I'm back, I'm tired and he's tired from parenting. And
Yeah.
I'm just like, we have to do a better job at date nights. We have to do a better job at planning quality time together. I try to make it a habit that we watch TV together. Like, we choose a program, at least we have that at night to look forward to. Like
Yes.
9:30 p.m. when the kids are totally passed out, we meet each other in the living room and we're like talking
Yeah.
and something together. So I'm trying to be better at that. I'm not the best at that, but I wish I had more energy, you know?
Yeah. No, it's, yeah. I
Yeah.
think, one thing that I've been covering a lot is there is a lot of work, with not only building your business, but also there's a lot of work in challenging a lot of the fear we have. It's not like we just like, oh, okay, well, fuck it, we'll try this. There's fear, there's this lack of confidence, there's so many insecurities that come up for us, and we do it anyway. We do it anyway. But then in addition to that, we also have our families, the insecurities that come along with that. And then how is this going to impact our marriage? Is my husband still okay? Yeah, he's fine. No problem. Okay, I'm just going to go anyway and I'll deal with it when I come back.
Yeah.
And then when I come back, it's like, well, shit, I don't even care anymore. I just want to go to sleep. Right? I mean, it's this unfortunate perpetual cycle.
Mhm.
And so I guess for most of us, that resentment, keeping score, that is a real valid fear. That is 1,000% a real valid fear. So much so that there are times we feel indebted to our
Yep.
partner,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Can you touch on that for
Yep.
you?
Oh yeah. And it's so fresh in my head because my girlfriends are texting. They're like, hey, we want to do a girls' night out on this day. And I'm like, to me, I'm like, I'm not going out because 2 days after that, I'm leaving for a big trip.
Yeah.
So I want to be with my kids and my husband up until I have to leave,
Yep.
even 2 days before I fly out. And tonight he's like, hey, I'm going out for a guys' night out. Is it okay? He's always asking, is
Yeah.
it okay? I'm like, go do
Go.
it. I want him to go do his thing because I will be home with the kids. But I notice that I'm putting my social activities aside
Mm-hmm.
because if I'm going to go on a trip, Alyce isn't going to go out and have fun with her girlfriends because
Yeah.
my trip is already planned and it's kind of like saving up, right? Like
Yeah. I love
I'm
it. Yeah.
saving that all my time that I'm going to go away, it's coming up soon. So I can't be going away for dinners. I need to put the kids to bed. I need to hunker down and like do my share before
Yeah.
I go away for a whole 11 days. That's a long time to parent full time.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm okay with that though. Like, because I'm an introvert and when I do my comedy shows, it's exhausting. Like, I get so drained, but I need to save up my energy for that. So for me, it works. Like, if I know a trip is coming up, I like to stay home,
Mm-hmm.
conserve all that energy, be with my kids, be with them so much that I'm so sick of them
Yeah.
that I'm okay going away.
Mm-hmm.
And just telling my husband, have a boys' night out. Like, when he's enjoying himself, I'm like, yes, I feel
Mm-hmm.
guilty leaving.
Well, and what if that, I love that you point that out because it is, it's a real feeling and 1,000% valid. But what if it didn't have to be that way? Like, because he's going to work and he's not apologizing for going to work.
Right.
You're going to work and it just so happens to be that you're going to work and it's going to be 11 days gone.
Yeah.
It's not ideal. However, if we look at it, they kind of run parallel. They're both going to work,
Yeah.
but I'm wondering, like, you know, what do you think it is for us, especially because our hours as an entrepreneur are not like everybody else's hours.
Right.
I mean, let's just be honest, they're not.
Yeah.
Why do you think there's more of guilt? Why do you think there's more weight with the things we do and apologies for it?
Money. I think it comes down to the money. How much am I earning? At least for me,
Mm-hmm.
how much I'm earning, it that money goes to dinners, dates, and to after school activities. I may be able to afford him a nice watch once a year.
Yeah.
It's we are living on his salary. If it wasn't for his salary, we are not living in this neighborhood. These kids are not going to the school. We cannot have the car that we are
Yeah.
driving. We cannot plan for any trips. So yeah, it's because of the money. Like I'm going to a conference, which in for me, it's making connections that will be long lasting, long term,
Mm-hmm.
and I will see the fruits of labor probably in 3 years or 5 years, but I'm not going home with a big paycheck. And to me,
Yeah.
I feel guilty already for spending the money on a hotel. I'm not getting paid a lot for this comedy show, but it's going to be a huge event
Yep.
for the audience, for my demographic. But that paycheck, that's barely covers the hotel and the flight.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, it's the money that I'm bringing in, not bringing enough, so I feel guilty.
Mm-hmm. And I think there's probably also that comes along with that, this internal struggle of there might not be money right now that it's bringing in. However, it's I'm investing in myself and my business because it's not happening right now. However, I continue to do these gigs. I continue to attend these conferences, building up such, building up networks, right? Which is very much needed, especially in the mom community, so that maybe so many months from now, or however long, you are at that platform where you are able to make a substantial, amount, retire your husband, or however you guys want it played out. But like, I think with being in it and having the idea of where you want it to be, but it not being there, it's like I'm asking my family to also take this gamble with me,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
hmm And it's like you see it in small doses where I'm like on my phone because I'm engaging with
Yeah.
my people and
Mhm.
people actually have to do that on social media. And my kids now associate that with me working when they see me on the phone.
Yeah.
Which is good because like it's not like I'm scrolling while they're at the playground. I'm actually, either I'm checking doctor appointments or recipes or I'm actually engaging. And
Mhm.
so yeah, it's tough because like I'm not seeing it, so it's not tangible. But
Yeah.
I know if I don't put my efforts in now, I'm not going to see it. So I cannot lose that opportunity. I've already lost like a good 4 to 5 years solid opportunities where I had to say no, or like, no, that's too far, or that's too late, or no, that means I have to leave on a Friday and come back on Sunday. No, I'm not going to take that gig. So I've said no so many times. And this is the year where I'm like, if it makes sense, if I see the value in it, yeah. And it doesn't have to be monetizing. But if I see the value for me or my brand, I'm going to say yes to it.
And I'm not gonna apologize for it either.
No, no, I get
Mhm.
that. The guilt will always be there. I'm getting better at swimming through it, swimming right by it, because we all are gonna have guilt. But I mean, if it's not now, when is it gonna be? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. No, 1,000%. So part of this series is me, I'm working on creating a plan, a secret society to help high achieving women stay married. That's exactly what this is. Helping high achieving women stay married. What would you say would be the most beneficial skill that I can teach to helping this? I don't want to say it's a small community, but essentially it is a small community. This
mm,
small community of women who we're not voicing all of our struggles because we're too busy, you know, maintaining our household as well as, you know, accomplishing all of these crazy wild dreams and looking fear in the face. But what would you say is like one of the number one skills that you or any other high achieving women would need to learn to help them thrive and be intentional, not only in their business, but also in their household?
wow. I think being present, like being able to put away your work, your meetings, your phone, and just cherish that time with your partner with your kids and with your family together. They need to see, like the kids need to see you and your partner kind of have a meaningful, loving, engaging relationship. And your partner needs to see you in the family role. And I think it's crazy. We're always like, oh, I'll do that tomorrow. Or I'll take this meeting today. Yeah, I'll plan that tomorrow. But and then a week goes by and then a month goes by, and then you realize, or at least I realize, wow, my partner and I have not had dinner alone together for 4 months.
Yeah.
It, it's it's crazy. And like we save our adult conversations like at night, maybe if we're watching TV or we're talking over the kids, which I don't recommend. But being present, and it's so hard for everyone to just put down your phone, not answering any texts, and even like hire the babysitter to help with the kids. So you and your husband or you and your wife can actually be like sitting in the backyard or at the porch or like in the living room and just having that quality time together.
So that is one skill that you believe
Yeah,
most of us need to learn.
yeah. I mean, for me, for sure, I feel like it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
And for me, it's like, oh, all right, I gotta do this. It's work.
Yeah.
And I'm not good at it. I can preach it, but I'm like, I gotta practice. I know what I need to do, Veronica.
I know. No, it is one of those things. I mean, Willie and I, that's my husband's name. Willie and I, we make it a habit to go out on a date every Tuesday. I'm going to tell you right now, girl, I'm just going to be honest. You know, I have a group private practice, you know, and I have 6 clinicians, and then I have the podcast, and then I, you know, run courses and do all of those things. So I have a lot of, I'm juggling a lot of things. Right. And I have 3 girls, you know, and my husband, and I'm going to be honest, there's times where it's like, all right, I'm going to be off. And I've made it to where now I'm intentional about being off in time to pick up my kids. But it's like, I have to remind myself, as crazy as this sounds, but I have to remind myself, do not answer work emails, do not go on social media and answer, you know, reply to anybody. Like, just get in the damn car, Veronica. You can get in the car, you can put on some really good damn music, you know, and you're going to freaking rock out and sing as loud as you can, but you're not going to pick up the phone and do work. Because I noticed the minute I get in my car, it's like, oh, Bird, awesome. Blah, 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 blah. Check these emails, check this text message. By the time I go pick up the kids, it's like, okay, well, I'm waiting in line, so check more messages. And then the kids get in the car and it's like, just one more message. And then we get home and it's like, I'm tired. I ain't got time for any of you. And I noticed that, yeah, it's like, shit, now I got to go on a date. And now I got to like, zhuzh it up. I want to zhuzh shit up. I want to go to bed. I just want to go to bed.
I know. As soon as I wake up, I'll say my goal is to go to bed. Like I can't wait to go to bed. Right? I'm not.
No, the thing is that is common. That is very, very common. And I think one of the biggest things for us is, again, because we're constantly challenging ourselves outside of our comfort zones, and we're doing things that, I mean, most of the time we're making it up as we go, right? It is overwhelming and it is draining. And, you know, right now I'm being the biggest student ever by asking all high achieving women, how can I best serve you? And that's one thing that I know I needed. I needed to be intentional and in the moment, because what I thought was intentional was just kind of a check in the box, because I found validation in the work that I did, because it's like, I know this. I know everything about it. Bring whoever you want to me. I will maybe not heal them, but I will help you, you know. But when it came to my family, my kids, and my kids are like, Mom, you give the worst advice. And I'm like, really? People pay me for this shit. And you're over here like dismissing it like nothing. You know what I mean? There's no validation there. It's not so easy. There's so many emotions, right?
No, if you're seeking validation, not at home. My kid was so mad at me. My kindergarten, we were walking to school. He was mad at me because I didn't give him another cookie for breakfast. And then he just looks at me and he's like, you look weird in those glasses. I'm like, oh, thanks. This is 2 days after he called me fat. Why are you grown up so fat? And I'm like, oh, like who? And he's like, well, like moms. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, look, you're like this. Like I can't even show you how wide his hands. I'm like, don't worry, kid. I'm not taking this personally at all.
At all. Not at all. Not at all. I'll be rocking back and forth in the corner in fetal position, but I'll be here to pick you up. I got you.
I love you.
Have a good day. Have a good day. Oh my goodness. My last question is, how do you define success?
Veronica, you have so many good questions. I think success is when you are happy with what you have accomplished, and also what you are still trying to build. I think if you're happy with yourself, I think a lot of people don't know if they're happy with themselves. And I think a lot of people know themselves. I don't want to put a price tag on it, but I think that if you're doing the work that you're passionate about and you know it can benefit the society, the world, clearly you are benefiting the society, and people are paying you for it, then it says something.
Yeah.
Right? Like I hate to attach a paycheck to it.
No.
But you gotta make a living. I've worked for free all my life. But you know, people want to support you when they receive, like, I've had people who are like, they will send me a random, someone just sent me a random $25 last month. They just wanted to say thank you. I'm like,
yeah.
What?
Mm-hmm.
I asked for it, you know, like, yeah, I have my Venmo on my but I'm like, no one's gonna Venmo me money. But I'm like, okay, people appreciate that.
Yes.
And, no, that's supportive. And I think that means a lot. Like, even if it's $1, people are subscribing to my channel to give me $1. I'm like, you are my number one fan. I'm going to devote some content just for you, because it's not about the amount, but for you to just even press the button to say subscribe and then to give me 99 cents a month.
Yeah.
You're supporting my services, and that means a lot to me. And I think that's success when you get that feedback from somebody, and because you've changed their life somehow. That's success to me.
I love that answer. I love that answer. For those of us that want to work with you, how can we find you?
I'm actively always on Instagram. You can find me there before you can, like, you know, text me. I never answer my text message. Momcom NYC on my Instagram, and I always list my live shows. I love meeting people from my Instagram at my live shows, and it makes me tear up, Veronica. Like, I swear, like, I've met the most incredible moms at my shows. So hope to see people live at my show. Yeah. Otherwise, I'm on Instagram all the time.
Thank you so much, Alyce, for coming on, for sharing your life with us. And in addition to that, sharing your heart. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. It was so fun.
Let's be honest. We can all use a little help in our marriage, especially when it comes to communicating. I have created a guide just for you. 5 things that are killing your marriage, tips from a therapist. Find out if you are making these marriage mistakes. Ladies, this guide is 100% free. I will give you practical tips and easy to use strategies to apply right away. You all know I'm a huge advocate for couples. I am on a mission to help you and your partner experience stress-free living. With this free guide, we are setting our marriages up for success. But it starts with you. You will find this free guide here in the show notes, or go to www.veronicacisneros.org. The information I will be providing you is next level, and people pay good money to get these tips that I will be giving you for free. Don't forget to share this with a friend. What's up, ladies? Just want to let you guys know that your ratings and reviews for this podcast are greatly appreciated. If you love this podcast, please go to iTunes right now, write a review, rate the episode, and subscribe. Don't forget to share it with your friends.
Hey there. This is Casey McGuire Davidson, host of the Hello Someday podcast. I'm an ex-red wine girl turned life coach who helps busy women change their relationship with alcohol. I spent 20 years climbing the corporate ladder while drinking a bottle of wine a night to unwind. In the Hello Someday podcast, my goal is to teach you the tried and true secrets of creating and living a life you don't want to escape from. Each week, I'll bring you tools, lessons, and conversations to help you drink less and live more. I'll teach you how to navigate our drinking-obsessed culture without a buzz and how to turn the decision to stop drinking from your worst-case scenario to the best decision of your life. You can find new episodes of the Hello Someday podcast every Thursday, wherever you listen, and I hope you check it out. Hey there, this is Casey McGuire Davidson, host of the Hello Someday podcast. I'm an ex-red wine girl turned life coach who helps busy women change their relationship with alcohol. I spent 20 years climbing the corporate ladder while drinking a bottle of wine a night to unwind. In the Hello Someday podcast, my goal is to teach you the tried and true secrets of creating and living a life you don't want to escape from. Each week, I'll bring you tools, lessons, and conversations to help you drink less and live more. I'll teach you how to navigate our drinking-obsessed culture without a buzz and how to turn the decision to stop drinking from your worst-case scenario to the best decision of your life. You can find new episodes of the Hello Someday podcast every Thursday, wherever you listen, and I hope you check it out.
I know we've been taught that motherhood requires alcohol. I know we've been taught not to question our relationship with alcohol until we've lost everything. And I know we've been taught that if we do dare to examine our relationship with alcohol, we need to head straight to AA and declare ourselves an alcoholic who is powerless to alcohol forever. But what if all that isn't true? That's definitely not my story. I'm Suzanne, the host of the Sober Mom Life podcast. I'm an influencer who stopped drinking in January 2020, and since then, I've been telling the truth about motherhood, influencing, alcohol, and sobriety. If you suspect deep down that glass or 3 of wine at night might just be making motherhood harder, well, you're right. Come and join me as I chat with other sober and sober-curious moms. Let's laugh, cry, and normalize sobriety together, all while we reheat our coffee for the 4th time today.
Oh, hey, it's Erin.
And I'm Michaela, and we're the hosts of the Two Sober Girls podcast, and we are on a mission to spill the wild truth about sobriety.
Forget the rosé all day cliche. Sobriety is flipping amazing.
Absolutely. It's not just about quitting the drink. It's a gift you give yourself and your loved ones.
So what are you waiting for? Break up with that old toxic relationship with alcohol and let us show you the possibilities.
And here's the thing. Everything your precious heart desires becomes way easier without the influence of alcohol.
We're not just two sober girls, we're also wellness coaches. We're here to show you how to optimize health, lifestyle, and beauty, feel sexy and alive as F.
So stay tuned because we're rolling out new episodes every Monday wherever you get your podcasts, and trust us, they have your name written all over them. We can't wait to share the magic of sobriety and wellness with you. Subscribe to Two Sober Girls podcast today and come follow us on Instagram for behind the scenes action and send us a DM. We can't wait to meet you.
It's easy to blame ourselves for our struggles with alcohol. We see people around us being able to control their drinking without any consequences, yet no matter what we try, we can't seem to figure it out for ourselves. My name is Jillian Teets, and I am the host of the Sober Powered podcast, where I use my biochemistry background to explain the latest research in addiction and help you understand both why you drink the way you do and how to develop the skills and mindset you need to find freedom from alcohol. I discuss topics like why we think about our drinking 24/7, why we have no off switch, and why we crave alcohol. If you're struggling with your drinking or you know someone who is, then I hope that you will check out the Sober Powered podcast. New episodes every Friday. See you there.